2 Christmas cards using plastic wrap technique for the background by Karen Burchell, Creative Katie. So I'm back to using my Inktense blocks, but you can use any of your color mediums, watercolor, gelatos, Neocolor 2s, and get the same effect using the saran wrap or plastic wrap technique. So here I'm just running water next to the Inktense block and activating it with a brush. And I want to get a good dark color. That's why I like using the Inktense blocks, because of the intensity of the color and the pigment. Adding a little bit more, just going to add a little bit of blue to this, kind of blue sprucey. I want this to look like the background of a tree. So there I have my no-name brand plastic wrap, and I'm just going to put it on and kind of smoosh it out together so I get an interesting pattern and design underneath, and let that dry. So I'm going to get the next one going here, and I'm putting on a purple and blue, and again trying to achieve that really dark color. Lots of pigment. And setting the plastic wrap. I let that dry for about a half hour. It was almost perfectly dry. I'm just going to use the heat tool for a couple of the spots that are still wet. You can see the wonderful texture that you get. So I'm taking it off the foam core board, and it had leaked under. In my last video I decided to reuse the tape, and this was the effect of that. So I'm just trying to cover it with a paint pan, and later you'll see me trying to touch it up with acrylic paint. So I want this to look like balls hanging from a string of lights in the tree. And instead of drawing the swirl, I noticed I had this on a stencil that I had gotten from my sister-in-law in some Happy Mail. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm just going to use this swirl. So after heat setting it, I'm going to get my micron pen and just outline the gold, just to make it pop that little extra. As you've seen on some of the other videos, I have a bunch of circles cut out for Christmas balls out of a variety of my cleanup papers, paper towels, cleanup coffee filters, and some of my jelly prints. And that's what you see there. These are all papers that were just basically cleaning up unused paint that I've been saving for a purpose just like this. So I'm going to stamp on each of the balls just to put a little bit of interest on there. A little holly leaf for this one, a snowflake for the other one, and on the blue purpley one, you'll see me adding just some random designs that you can't see too well on the camera, but in real life it looks really good. Positioning the balls, and now I'm just using my micron pen to draw the string, tying up to the bow, and the little topper. When I started the video, I never know what's going to happen with these. I'm just kind of creating on the cuff. I have some idea of where I'm going, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. This card exceeds my expectations. I'm applying the balls with my golden gel medium, applying a layer underneath and on top of the ball. There you see me trying to touch up that the seepage around the edge. So while that one's drying, decide to work on the purpley blue one. So I have this stamp from Michael's, and there's actually 3 circles inside it. So I figure I'm going to emboss this circle with the Recollections, the eggplant colored embossing powder, which you see me applying there. I didn't quite press dark enough, so some of the areas are a little skimpy. And heat setting the embossing powder. I really like how the background from the saran wrap looks like broken glass or ice. So I'm going to dangle an ornament from the middle of this circle. And I'm just picking what I have. I decide I'm going to add a little bit of silver embossing powder onto the ball. Holding it down with my paintbrush while I heat set it. So I've applied it with the gel medium, and there I'm using my blue StazOn to put on a sentiment, and I'm back to the green card. And I'm sharpening my Stabilo All pencil with my brand new Faber-Castell pencil sharpener, which is the best thing I've ever had for sharpening, and outlining with my Stabilo All pencil and activating with water. And I decide to do a little bit of shading underneath the string. As well. Adding a string and a topper to this ball. Outlining with the Stabilo All pencil. Outlining with my micron pen. Just adding little details. What's missing? What do I need to do? So I'm mixing up some white paint, and with my fan brush I am splattering white paint on both of these cards. So with my Versamark I've stamped with my gold embossing powder, 'Tis the Season. And under fast motion, this is just so amazing how the sentiment, the embossing powder just melts and glitters. Then I get an idea about my messy edges where the seepage happened, and I use my Versamark pen, and I go around it on a ruler and put the gold embossing powder on the edges. Then removing where I don't want it to emboss, where it's gone over the edges. This is something I've never done. And using the heat tool to melt the embossing powder. So I really like how this turned out with the edge of gold. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button, and you won't miss any of the videos. Bye!